Hello, 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 hello. Listen, I just went ahead and just went live. I didn't even get to bring us in, but we're here. So, listen, you guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at in the world. This is your girl, Carolyn Wilson of Magnify Your Essence. And we're here to bring to you another amazing woman with our Days of Her. Days of who? Days of what? Days of her. Days of Her, just leading up to our amazing celebration of Her Story too. And then we're also celebrating, this is the month for Women's History Month. So why not celebrate these phenomenal, amazing women who are in this community, in this story, in this book, in this anthology, just in this whole, as we called it, a tribe. You heard us yesterday. Over the past few days, we even called this a tribe. So coming to us, representing the beautiful country. She's local, she's in the States, but she's representing her amazing, beautiful country of Argentina, right? So I'm going to bring and welcome. Are you ready, Queen? Are you ready? All right, she's ready to come. So let's just bring her in here. I want to introduce to you Marina. Yes, I think I got your name right again. Dominguez. Cifuentes.
Yes.
How are you today, dear? How are you?
Very, very happy to be here. Very grateful to you, Caroline, and I cannot admire more.
Wow. Yes. I'm so glad to have you here too. So this has been a journey, right? It's been, and this journey is just getting started. Just getting started. We haven't even scratched the surface of this thing yet. So you are one of our amazing authors in Her Story. So for all you guys who are watching, I want you to just give us, send us where you tell us where you're at so I can give you a shout out. I like to do that to make sure we know who's here with us, who's watching us, who's paying attention, who's like, wait a minute. If you actually saw some of the other Days of Her, just say her. Just put her in the chat so I know that you've been following and watching us for the past few days. But Marina. So talk to us about when you made the decision, like what made you want to be part of this, to tell your story and to be part of this book?
The desire of breaking this cycle, the cycle of the silence, the cycle of the abuse, and the expectation that maybe by way of telling my story, it can change another person's life. And if it doesn't change, that's a very big goal, but at least contribute to waking up, because I wish I knew what I was getting into before, so I wouldn't implicate not just my own person, but all the people surrounding me and the most important people in my life, which are my children.
Right. And speaking of your children, you named your title, your chapter was a very interesting title. I want to share this with everyone, and maybe you can dive into this and give us some explanation behind. So your chapter is called Childless Mother.
Yes.
Let's tell us about that.
Yes, Caroline, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I am calling childless mother because although I'm a mother, a capable mother, I was never found to be in any type of abuse of my children. I didn't do anything that will preclude me to be a mother. However, and against the, I guess, human rights and the United States Constitution, I'm precluded to be a mother of my two older children. So I unfortunately married a very controlling and abusive husband that for more than 8 years now had been using the children as weapons and had been precluding me to be with them till the point of using armed guards, hiring armed guards for the very little contact I had with my children in the past, now over the years, the relationship had been very much affected by the little contact and no contact. And I didn't tell this in the story because it's really a long story. I just in the book I just tell a little short about it. But I even um, I even was subjected to many abuses. But I think the I cannot say the worst because it wasn't really the worst. But one time that I was in the venue that I was supposed to visit my children, that I had to visit my children there with those armed guards, which was a Catholic church in Media. So I have to tell you that I did sign what it's called a PFA, protection from abuse, that my ex had claimed that I was abusive towards him. So I decided, after litigation and after uh, actually months of litigation, because it started in April and didn't finish till October. My resources were depleted. Emotionally, I couldn't handle it. So I said, okay, I will sign this, which is actually a stay away order. So I am consenting. I will not get close to my ex. So what happened is that after visiting the children, I remain in the confines of the church. So my ex claimed that I was violating the PFA order, the stay away order, and I got arrested. So long story short, I spent 30, 30 days in jail, in Delaware County jail. So that was, I think, the starting point of the estrangement from my children. That among to the fact that a custody trial started after several years of no hearings scheduled. So I think those two things were those two events were the starting of the rejection of my children. Because obviously, when I was 37 days in jail, I didn't go to see them, and I don't know what they have been told, because they didn't go to see me in jail. Obviously, someone had to bring them there. So after that, I didn't want to return to the place, thinking I am putting myself on jeopardy. Because if on one hand, I am allowed to go to this venue to see my children, and on the other hand, it's in the power of my ex to decide whether I'm violating a PFA order, because he will be in the premises. He will not preclude himself of going. So obviously we will encounter ourselves, and I'm going to be, every time that he decides, I will be in jeopardy. So it was not just those 37 days, it was more time that I thought, well, maybe the court will give me an answer to have an alternative way to see my children. Because I never, as I said, I never did anything that will legally preclude me to see my children. So anyways, that's why I'm saying, even though I'm a mother, a capable mother, available mother, I am childless. But I have to tell you, Caroline, that nature and the destiny blessed me with my third child. So now I am a mother of a little baby, which unfortunately the older children that I have, they didn't have the chance to meet.
Hmm. So how does that, for someone, because I'm pretty sure you're not the only one. I've even went through, the whole the wonderful, beautiful world, and I'm being sarcastic, of, custody and child, that whole thing that happens, right, when you're trying to figure out how to co-parent, if that's even possible. And so, but for you, as the mother, right? And then if you in these spaces and places of trying to fight for yourself, and then in those 37 days, walk us through like where you were in this whole process. So we understand what he was doing, but we really want to know, what were you doing? Like, how did you keep yourself together to keep up fighting for yourself and for your children?
Yes, Caroline, I have to say that this is a continuum. I am from the first day that I was separated from my children till now. It's a it's the I think it's the desire of justice, or of something that cannot be. But on the other hand, it was a realization of the many injustices in this country, unfortunately.
Mm.
So I'm
Now
not
let
alone.
me ask, so it was here, not in Argentina, correct?
Everything was here. Everything was here. Yes, yes. In
Okay.
this, yes, in Pennsylvania, Delaware County.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
something that they don't tell you. You don't know when you are in Argentina, for example. I watched the Hollywood movies, and I thought,
The
yeah,
land of milk and honey. Like, I can't wait to get to the States, and then you
right,
come here. Now,
right.
how old are your children? Your older two?
They right now they are 12 and 13.
12 and
And
13. And you
yeah,
said you've been, and this has been about what, 10 years, give or
when
take?
all started, they were just 4 and 5.
4 and 5. Okay. 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 Well, you definitely, my dear, even though with all of that, you don't look like what you've been through, right? You don't look like that you had all of those things going on, and just carry that with a badge of honor, because that's a lot of strength, that's a lot of courage, that's a lot of faith, to keep you. That's why I said walk us into that space. So what kept you, in those 37 days when you're like, I just was trying to see my children. Why do I have to be punished? So in those that 37 days, like, that's what we were like, really tell us what did you turn to? Was it your faith? Was it writing? Like, what did you do to keep yourself together?
Exactly. Well, I think it was the idea that, Caroline, I was so oppressed outside that for more unbelievable that this could happen, but
Mm.
I was there, and I could um, do the inner. I could develop my inner self. I did have time to think. Of course, I cried a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I did I sort of regained my composure. I was being oppressed outside more than inside, because can you
Mm.
imagine to go see your kids with armed guards that
Yeah.
also you don't even know what these people have in their minds. And
Yeah.
later I realized that these people were from a private investigator company, so they were off-duty police officers, and these people were the same people that they were hired to conduct private investigations on myself. I did even have a GPS device on the dashboard of my car. This is so extreme that when I had my third baby, I had subpoenas from the court sent to the hospital to get my OBGYN records. I had through the using the court system, I had a discovery that was sent to me saying you have to state all your sexual partners between the X amount of time, like this year and this year. This is just something outrageous.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
extreme. That is, I would agree that is extreme. You got Allegra who's in here. She's one of your sisters from the book, and she is applauding your tireless fight for justice for you and your children. Like, and this is, when we talk about celebrating women and how tireless, like she said, the fight, we're always fighting, right? And it is a tireless fight. And so that's why we have this whole month, right? Actually, it's 365 days a year. This is not just for 31 days, right? But this is really what we do all the time. And it's not just the fight for your children, but it's the fight for you. And that's what we're just all collectively, because we're overcoming these obstacles together. So you're not alone, even though it is extreme, but you have to go through it, because I'm pretty sure there's somebody else
Oh,
that
yes.
you're going to be able to help them in their process, because they're like, this doesn't make any sense. And you're like, I can't be the only one. And like, I went through that. Let me tell you how I got through it, because that's where the power comes in at, when you're able to really just have this inner fight. And I think, let me see, Allegra also said that you were fueled by your inner strength. Like, even though there was moments where, like you said, you cried, you had these moments where it's like, okay, the oppression was coming from all over the place, but there was this inner strength that allowed you to say, okay, no, this isn't right. And I have to fight, and I have to fight for me and fight for my children. Even though this isn't right, I'm going to still stand. And no matter what they do on the outside to try to, devalue me, right? Because that's literally what it is. And that's just in history with women. We've been devalued, right? And no matter where we're at, whether we're here in the States, whether we're in a different country, women, we just have a lot to fight for, right? And our voices matter. That's what this is about. This is what our Her Story is about. Because when we can heal from, everybody has something that they went through that's extreme, right? Nobody's story is different than anybody else's, but it's what we've done with our story, the power that we have within our story to make it better, not just for us, but for everyone else that's going to follow suit. That's what this whole journey really is truly about. And we applaud you. We applaud you for, standing up for not just you, but for your children as well. Listen, listen, we are some bad mamma jammas. That's all I'm gonna say. So I applaud you. I applaud you as well. I'm trying to see what else we have here. So, in this whole journey, so what was, because I know you've talked about your story before, because you have to, right? Because it's so it's still in the crux of it, and you're really still making sure that you still have this relationship with your children. So how was it for you to write your story? Because I know you've talked about it, and I know you've been on many other platforms to really share it, to allow people to bring awareness, more so awareness. So, but what was it like for you to really dive into the crux of your story?
I think it was liberating, and I think it was also I felt good with the idea that at least it will be something that I can leave for my children as a legacy. And at least if I cannot talk to them, at least that will be something, a testimony that tells my side of the story, because till now they are only listening to one side, but there is the other side, the side that has been silenced, the side that nobody quote unquote, I'm saying the justice doesn't care about,
Right.
what is supposed to be justice. So where is the voice of the oppressed? Well, here, Caroline, thanks to you, there is a venue.
And I'm so glad that you just said yes. So I'm ready. I'm ready to share my voice, and that's the power in it, right? And I love that you said you get to leave your legacy, and your voice is no longer silent. That's literally uh, what happens to all of us, right? We're silenced, and then when we're silenced, then we lose our power that we've already had. And so, being able to have this space, being able to, and I like the word you said, was liberating. And that's the thing that sticks with you. It's like, wow, I found my voice. I found my power. I found a way for me be able to like say, this is me, hear what I have to say. Like, because I know, especially when you're going through the system, you only have a short period of time, right? And it's so much you want to say, but you can't. And so now this is the opportunity for you to say, here, how Maya Angelou, she's like, here, hear my, I am woman, hear me roar. Like, so now this is your time to roar. This is your time to just soar and share with everybody. Like, no, this is my story. This is my story. And I wouldn't want it on anyone else. But if you do happen to have this, this is what you can do. This is how you can get through. I got through this. And now I know so can you. And I know so can you. And so, you have another beautiful soul, that you're raising. You have another beautiful baby, in this whole process. So that just goes to show there was some healing in this process. So you've healed in some way or form, because a lot of people would probably say, okay, no, and just get so, because I know for me personally, when I was going through a lot of those things, it took a really long time. It was double digits in years before I was able to really release and let that part of my life go. That was keeping me bound in this vortex. Like, it was just this crazy vortex. It was sucking me in. And it was sucking me in to the point where I was losing myself. Would that be would you kind of say that would be similar in where you were coming from, or it was something different?
Well, of course, it was very difficult, but I always try to keep the love uplifted. I never I don't have resentments. I can't, because it's my children are have their dads and have their moms. So I'm not going to repeat the story that they have already. They have to suffer that. Any type of resentment or within myself will impact them, even indirectly. So I keep the good moments, because they were good moments, or at least I thought I was in a good story when I was still in the bubble, or when I was and I don't think I mentioned this in the chapter, but I was married with someone who had a double life. So if not a triple life, who knows? But at least for sure, he was married to two people at the same time. So, but all those things are on him. I'm not going to carry those weights. I did things on good faith on my part, and the children are precious creatures, and I'm not going to diminish what they have from their dad, and good qualities as well. So
Right.
so I right now, my hopes is integration between my children, because even if let's say even if I were a bad mother, or an undesirable person, as they try to portray me, so why do the children have to pay for that? They are innocent. My little girl, she has two siblings, so no one could explain to me why is that not possible, and no one explained to me why my parents, the grandparents of the children, had to be discarded as well.
Right.
And I became a CASA volunteer, a special advocate for children, so I don't have any impediment whatsoever. But apparently the influence, the money, this person is a lawyer. Who knows?
Who knows? But I like what you said. It was like there's no resentment, and that is like the number one thing, because that when you can tell that a person has went through some introspection, some things about to heal, right? Because when you can forgive, because that's the big F word, it's forgiveness. So if you don't have any resentment, then you had to have found somewhere something in your heart to forgive in order for you to be able to move forward. Not saying that the fight isn't still there, but you're able to do it with a bit of dignity and grace, and that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm gathering from you. So let me see. We got someone else that popped in. See what? Yes, just always be happy. Yes, we got Rhonda popped in. Rhonda, you jumping in on all. I'm loving this all the way from Florida. Yeah, she said just always be happy. And just absolutely, finding whatever that is that keeps you going, and keeps you strong in the midst of all of this, even while as I like to say, the script is still being written because your children are still minors, right? So even though that's happened before, but you've had some years to kind of process this and kind of find a way to maneuver within the crux of what you've been given, right? The cards in which you've been dealt. So what is, yes, love this movement. You're quite welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. So let me ask you so let's switch gears just a little bit. So now you're in this book with these amazing other women from around the world, and you are representing your country of Argentina. How is that? How did that feel to be able to say, okay, I'm not only am I an author in this book, not only am I a best-selling author, but we hit, I don't know if you remember, if you knew, but we actually hit the number one in Amazon. So what was that like when you realized that and realized, wait a minute, this is for real, I'm actually in this book? Or did you not know?
Yes, of course. I couldn't expect less.
I was like, wait a minute, because we did have a little disconnect with the communication for a while. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I believe so for you guys, and she said how she wouldn't expect anything less. I love that already. She's already saying, of course it would be. Like, would you doubt it? She's like, "Would you doubt it?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. Just wanted to see, if everyone knew." So what we're talking about is this book right here. This Her Story Too, right here. Together Overcoming Obstacles. You have Marina right here with other amazing women. They're all, together. We are overcoming these massive obstacles and the cards that we're being dealt, and we're showing how you get through, even though it doesn't look the greatest. Look at her. She's beautiful. She has this beautiful smile. Everything that you heard from her, you would never know. It's like, wait a minute. She's a motherless child. How is that even possible? You know what? I'm a motherless child. Like, you know how many people you're going to touch with your story that say, okay, if she can still get through this and still have a smile on her face, then I can too. That I can too, because I still have to be okay for me before I can be okay for them, for my children, for your children. So to that other woman that's out there that may be feeling like, they can't share their story because the narrative is being told on the other side. So, maybe because a lot of times when you're dealing with custody and things of that nature, the child has to go to the other parent and they're away from you for an extended period of time, whether it's a day, a weekend, a week, a couple months, they're still away. And so now, like you said, to whatever is being said or whatever is being experienced, what is the thing that you want to be able to tell that mother that feels like they're a motherless child, and how they can get through those periods and times when they are without their children?
That if we don't keep the best version of ourselves, then they will blame us for the things that we become after we lost our children, and that will be used as an excuse to say, well, see, you cannot have your children. So that's why we have to keep us together and not going into any any roles that could actually be the reason or the excuse that they are looking for, because it's very easy when you are broken inside, because obviously you don't have your children. That's the worst thing that can happen to you. So obviously you are not in a good place. So you are, maybe you tend to do things that they later will either harm yourself, harm your possibilities to really recover your children. And in my case, being from another country, it's even worse, because here you don't have anyone, you don't know how things work. And obviously the idea was in my mind, well, I will give up and just go back because I have no chances. But I resisted for 8 years, so I'm staying. I'm staying where my children are, close to them, even though I cannot be with them for some reason, which is still to be discovered.
Mm, wow. That was, I don't know if you guys heard what she said. Like, that was so powerful. It's like, yeah, I already know that this is not the ideal thing, but I'm staying and I'm going to stand firm. But at the same token, I am going to do things and be and act in a way that's going to benefit me and them in the long run, not to give them something additional to clarify, right, or confirm what their speculations may or may not be. Because you're right, it is a devastating time, and it's expected for you to kind of be just distraught, and you may not think properly or straight, but you were able to tap into something that kept you knowing, you know what, it was easy for me to just run and go back to my country and just say forget it. But he said, nope, I'm staying put right here. I'm staying put right here. So my sister, my queen, I salute you. We all salute you, because that is the boldest thing that anyone could ever do, is to stand firm in something that, choose the hard road, even though, eventually it will turn right. So, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. See, I wish we still had more time. But let me see what we got. She is so strong. Yeah, you're getting your flowers. Like, let's give Marina her flowers right now. She is that, isn't she? She's the epitome of strength. The epitome of strength. To be able to know knowingly, like, it's not okay, but guess what? It's okay, because I'm not moving. I'm standing. I'm staying right here. That's bold. That's, girl, like, giving you all kinds of high fives, giving you all kinds of hugs and loves. Like, yes, so strong. So let's give her flowers. Let's say, oh, absolutely. Remember, God is, yes, God is, God. So, Marina, where, man, whew, this was powerful. This was so powerful. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for being a vessel. Thank you for being, vulnerable with your story, and really allowing others, especially like mothers that may be going through, especially in the custody world. It's a hard place for us to be, right? Because there are children and we love our children. And there were happy times, right, at some time and point. And those are the things. And it's not, I think, from what I heard from you, you use those happy times not to go back into, say, oh, well, why, well, what about, and to reminisce in a space to kind of keep you down, but you use that to fuel you, to give you that extra strength and that power to stay in this essence of being okay, of being okay. And, like, so here we go. Allegra says she celebrates you as well. So listen. Oh my gosh, you guys have to get this her story too. I'm trying to tell you, you will definitely, when you get to motherless child, we have, you are a disruptor. Wait a minute, I don't know if you got to hear um last night when we got to talk to Alexandria from Bahamas. She said she's a disruptor. You're a disruptor. Oh my gosh. You're a disruptor, and that's a good thing. Trust and believe. Watch. Yeah, go back and watch yesterday's. That's a good thing. So listen, is there anything else that you want to say before we go?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Caroline, for this opportunity.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. You are quite welcome. So there's her chapter again, you guys. And listen, if you want to, you can't wait to meet Marina and all the other 25 fabulous, amazing women. We will be doing our look down here, our virtual launch party on April 11th and 12th, coming up soon. Coming up soon. Coming up soon. Go to, what is this going to tell you to go to? Her Story 2 launchparty.eventbrite.com. We got a 2-day celebration where you'll get all 25 women and really get to celebrate. That's just going, and that's when it's going to be released. So if you don't have your copy, you can get your copy. Let me show you how you can get your copy. Let me show you where you can get your copy. You can get your copy. Go to this link right here. You go to the bit.ly pre-order Her Story 2. You can go there, go to Amazon. It's 99 cents right now. It's April 11th. You'll get the download. And then if you want the physical copy, you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Marina or any of the other 25 women that you feel compelled to want to contact them and get a book from them. That's what you can do. So until then, you can also go to my link tree, and then everything is there. So you can just go to my link tree, linktr.ee/Carolyn Wilson, and you can get Her Story 2. You can come and join us for the virtual launch party. And hey, if you want to be part of Her Story 3, come on. We about to do Her Story 3 because we got to keep this movement going. So I am so honored and so glad to have another sister disruptor. Exactly. I so agree. You are another sister disruptor. So Marina, what I'm going to do is have you go to backstage. I'm going to close this out, but thank you for being another sister disruptor, for being her too, for being this amazing, fabulous woman of God, who's just, you are here to shake some things up. And you say, I will not be moved. That's your shirt. I will not be moved. I'm here to stay. I love that. I am here to stay. Thank you. So you guys, here we go once again. Listen, if you stay tuned, actually you come back in another like 15 minutes, you'll be meeting another, I know we can do on this back to back today. You'll be meeting another amazing, fabulous woman in Her Story 2. But today was all about Marina. Like, she just shared her soul with you and talk, I'm a mother. I went through all of that, not to that extreme, but I went to something as well. And I'm pretty sure there's not one mother, no single mom out here that does not relate to her and can embrace her and just understand her undeniable strength. She's like, I may not be from this country, but I am standing here. I will not be moved. Take some lessons from her. So listen, you guys, that's all I'm going to tell you. Go to my link tree. Make sure you get Her Story, Him Story, Her Story 2. Join us for the virtual launch party. And, I always tell you these 1 of 3, 4 fabulous things. I tell you to be 1, empowered, be inspired, and be magnified. That's what you got to do. And then the other thing is, just join this movement because I am her, you are her, we're all her. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing evening. And I will see you on the flip side in just like another 15 minutes at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, we'll be bringing the next amazing woman in Her Story 2. Take care. Bye.